Hey everybody, it's Creed from InfiniteCoolness.com, and today I want to talk about why I make fan art. Now, first of all, I don't even like the term fan art, but if everybody calls it that, I have to use that term in order for you to know what I'm talking about. I just call it art. And I draw it because I love it. It's not to cash in. I'm not trying to piggyback on stuff. It's not the 50 other things that people say about fan art. I was inspired to be an artist in the first place by a piece of pop culture, the cover of Blue Devil #1. I saw that, it rewired my brain, and I needed to be able to draw that stuff. Like I didn't want to draw in general from that. I wanted to draw Blue Devil, actually. So for me, if somebody came to me and said, you can draw whatever you want, which artists can, why I choose what I choose is because I draw the stuff that means something to me. And it's not some stuff I just made up. I'm not trying to get a universe off the ground or make a character into somebody. I already like the ones that are somebody. So if I watched a cartoon in the 80s when I was a kid, I love the characters from that and I want to draw them. That's why I do it. I'm more of a fan than an artist. I'm only an artist because I'm a fan. And I've done hundreds of pieces of fan art. Here, I'll scroll some of my DeviantArt. DeviantArt.com/CreedStonegate. That's where you'll find all my art. I have my first series of 100 cartoon villains, and I'm working on the second series, plus lots and lots of other characters. And I do that in a very particular style that I've developed over time. I'm very picky about exactly how that's done, and it takes me a long time. A piece used to take me a day or two, and now I have declining health, and it takes usually over a week to do one. It's slow, but this style and what I do, I think is pretty unique to me, and it's what I love the most about doing art. So I'm not giving that up. Like right now, I'm not doing that kind of art. I'm working on some AI art for right now, but I'm not going to give up my regular art. So that's some of my stuff. I just a quick scroll through my DeviantArt, but you can check it all out on the website if you want. Now, the thing I find strange about this whole discussion is somebody's like, "Oh, you drew," and name a character, and the first thing they do is become the lawyer for the company. Now, this could be your stoner buddy Ralph, and Ralph has never mentioned a law thing in his life, but fan art makes people bring up the law all of a sudden. Oh, is that legal? And the weird thing is, Ralph could be your best buddy in the world. He's not your lawyer all of a sudden. He's their lawyer, which I find really weird. And I mean, I don't usually get into discussions about the law. It's not. I'm an artist. I'd rather talk about art. But it just brings out the I don't know, and then they start asking questions, and then they'll even start almost interrogating you. I find that very weird because in reality, Ralph doesn't really care about legal stuff either. Like, he's not into it. The law is not his thing. But all of a sudden, it occurs to him. So I find that really strange that people all of a sudden want to become a corporate lawyer for that discussion. But when I set out to draw, I've had characters I've created. I have a whole superhero universe I created in the 90s. But they're not anything to me. They're not compared to the legends of my childhood, compared to He-Man and G.I. Joe and Visionaries and Humanoids, etc., etc. Everything else I've been drawing. Compared to that stuff, my stuff I make up is just some stuff I made up. And if it's going to take a week to do a piece, I don't want to spend that week just on some stuff I just made up. I'd rather do it on some legend of my childhood that I really love. So my instant preference is to do, like I said, stuff I love from my childhood usually. The cool thing about this art is if you've watched that show when you were a kid, and I watched the show when I was a kid, and I draw this, it gives you that experience back of right back to watching that show, sitting on the couch with a bowl of cereal in your pajamas, back when life was good. So it's really that experience even more than the character. It's a way we can share an experience that we have in common. And that's really the power of my art, because I'll post my art and I'll see that I'll log back into something and it'll show 28 likes, and I go, okay, that's probably one person They found something and then they followed the trail and dug deep. I get a lot of that, and that's because I get that spark of, oh wow, I forgot about that, or it make me feel just like when I first watched that show. It's a way that we can share a nostalgic experience, and it's very, very powerful, and I've seen it over and over. That's what I love about my ability to draw a character as close as who the character is. I'm not trying to draw my version of the character. I'm trying to draw the version of the character that I saw, because it's also the version of the character that you saw. So there's power in that likeness, and that's why I stick close to it. So really, more than just playing with those characters, I'm playing with that power, that spark that's in your brain just sitting there. And it's just, you see my art and it fires it off. So that's what I love. That's my preference. That's if I had infinite time, that's what I'd spend most of it on. And especially if a piece is going to take me a week, I don't want to spend a week of my life. I usually don't want to spend a week of my life working on something that's not anything. Here's some guy I just made up. I spent a week drawing it. People would be like, yeah, okay. And I myself feel the same way. Yeah, okay, whatever. Is he anybody? No? Oh, okay. Move on. That's how I feel. So I know that's how they feel. Like I said, I'm a fan, and that's why I'm an artist. And it's been really interesting lately because I've come across this whole AI art thing. And I'm making an AI art that's not based on existing characters. It's what I've been doing lately is based on more iconic stereotypes and kinds of characters, like vampire, werewolf. I'm naming off monsters, but just iconic categories is what I've been doing, and it's similar enough that I can say, oh, hey, I like vampires, and I'll do vampires, and it doesn't have to be a specific vampire. It doesn't have to be a guy from 40 vampire novels or a vampire TV show. But if that took me a week, it probably would have to be a vampire that I know about, to me. But this AI stuff doesn't take a week; it takes like an hour or two. So I don't mind doing a character that I don't know. And just do it as a cool piece of art because it took so little time compared to my real stuff, what I call my real stuff. And when I show my art, really what I want a discussion about is the art, not about some legal hubbub about it. Discussing that seems like a waste of time to me, tell you the truth. And if you're really into what's legal and what's not, and that's your thing, and watching law stuff and knowing the law and all this stuff, then you'll be like, oh, you're crazy, you need to know all this stuff. I'm worried about making the art that I love. That's all I'm worried about. But I think the important thing is the impact of the art. And the impact of the art is the shared social experience that we had separately. And the art can bring us together when I make it, when you look at it. We're sharing a thing that we both did separately, but it was the same thing. We both watched this show that I drew this from. And you'll see in the background a little bit of here and there. I'm inking Teddy Ruxpin from The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin, one of the best 80s cartoons, honestly. People think it's a little kid's cartoon. It's absolutely, to me, it's not. I love it. And I'm not doing this in the style of my Creed Saturday Morning, although I think I am going to start those up again. But so I'm not talking a deep dive about Teddy Ruxpin right now. But this is going to be a set of Teddy, Grubby, and Gimmick. So I'll do a video once I'm doing all that art together. I'll do a video about that. But I'm just working on this in the background right now. So it's been really interesting working on stuff that's not fan art, and I really think it's good from an artist standpoint to diversify my stuff. So if there's a problem with something that I drew, there's not going to be a problem with everything that I drew. And the benefit that I can make this stuff a lot quicker. So I'm building up some stores. I've got a Halloween store, and I've got a VR store set up so far on Redbubble with all this AI art. That's a separate thing, but it's my main project right now. And the very first thing I get back to when I start doing my regular art again is to finish Teddy, Grubby, and Gimmick. Gonna make an excellent sticker set. If there are any fans out there of the Teddy Ruxpin cartoon, you're going to want these. And I'm planning on a lot more characters, probably every character from the show, because I love it so much. And actually, I'm a huge part of the Teddy Ruxpin community, especially way back at the start of the internet. I had the ability to do screen grabs before a lot of people did. And I had a large collection of captures from the show. I also had them all saved on VHS at the time when there was no availability of the episode. It's out now on a great set that has like a lot of cool storybook art and fantastic packaging. So I recommend getting that. Get that for your kids and watch it yourself also, I'd like to say. That's just my random thoughts on why I do what I do. I'm not trying to jump on some kind of bandwagon. I'm not trying to cash in on popular characters. Although I do, unless I like that popular character, then I'll do it. But it totally depends on that feeling. If I can get that spark of nostalgia or awe, if I can get that wow factor, that's why I choose what I choose. And I totally understand there's some people that want to flip out because I drew something that they don't like that I drew. Okay. It's a giant internet out there. Just move on and go look at somebody else's stuff. That's all you have to do. But if, like me, you're a fan of pop culture and you love all these 80s and 90s cartoons especially, I don't do just 80s and 90s, but if you love the 80s and 90s cartoons, I've been seriously doing what people call fan art for 10 or 11 years now, and I have a lot of stuff done, but it's taken a long time. So I'm really happy to have this new branch of what I call my fast art, which is AI, and then what I call my slow art, which is my real art. So don't be concerned that you see I'm doing all this AI stuff. If you're a fan or a follower of my art, don't worry, I'm getting back to the real stuff. I'm gonna mix in my slow and fast art as my plan, but probably after the new year, because right now I'm really trying to get this AI thing off the ground on my end. That was just a little update. I'd like to thank anybody who watches my videos. I know I don't get a ton of views right now. The channel's been dead for quite a while. And what they say is after you come back from a long time, usually you drop some subscribers. I actually gained a couple, which is awesome. Welcome. I'm really hoping, it's just a hope because I'm not sure, I can't guarantee anything with my health. I'm really hoping to turn this channel back into a regular thing. So I'll see you next time, and until then, take her easy. This video was brought to you by my sticker store, Infinite Coolness on Etsy. The only place you'll find Inhumanoid stickers. I've got the Jetsons family, I've got Lydia and Beetlejuice, I've got Gravity Falls characters, Garfield's Halloween Adventure, the Cereal Monsters, Real Ghostbusters, Master Universe, Bucky O'Hare, Captain N, the GoBots, and many, many more. So if you like pop culture, especially the retro stuff, you won't find better stickers than mine. So check out the store for the coolest cartoon stickers you've ever seen.